Hi, this is Mark Langley with the National Public Safety Drone Donation Program. Today, we're interviewing Greg Reverdiau from the Pilot Institute, and we're really making an effort to interview all of our partner supporters because it's important for us to bring to light these companies, what they do in the industry. And Greg has agreed to sit down and do a chat with us, and I really appreciate that. Greg, tell us a little bit about your background, how you got involved being a pilot and being an instructor.
Yeah, you bet. I actually studied to be a pilot. So I went to school in Florida at the Florida Institute of Technology, now called Florida Tech. I did a 4-year degree program where I got my pilot certificate and a bachelor's in aeronautical science. And then at the end of it, this was soon after 9/11, unfortunately, where pilot jobs were not extremely available. As you can tell, I'm not from this country, so I came here as a student on a student visa, and getting jobs was actually pretty difficult, even for American citizens that wanted to fly. So I kind of decided to take my career a slightly different route and go in the non-flying side of things in order to be able to stay in the US. So I was able to secure a work visa and then eventually a green card and then eventually citizenship. But so I stayed and worked at the university that I went to study, and I worked for FIT for 13 years, continued teaching on the side as an adjunct professor when I worked for the university, and then also fly instructing on the side to build up my flight time. And then eventually realized that I kind of enjoyed that side of things, doing the management thing. So I managed a flight training program there for 13 years. I was there. And before I moved to Arizona, where I started doing the same thing, but for a smaller flight school. And then in the middle of all of this, kind of in the early 2010s, I want to say, I started realizing that drones were really becoming a big thing at the university level. And of course, I was in charge of business development. So I kept telling my bosses, I said, I really want us to develop a drone program. And unfortunately, they weren't too receptive. This was a person that was a manned aircraft pilot. He really wanted to fly from the airplane instead of from a controller. So eventually, when I left, I started thinking, hey, if nobody's going to want to do this, I need to do this on my own. So I started creating courses online, and as it was going to be kind of a side gig as I did my main job, and then it grew into a lot more than that. It grew to 170,000 students now at Pilot Institute that we've been teaching on airplane and drone. So the drone thing really for me is I'm trying to bridge the gap between the manned aircraft pilots and the unmanned world, where I want to make sure that we can all coexist and work together. So I'm trying to bring that awareness from both sides to both sides of the equation.
You've got a unique perspective, and I understand you do work with the FAA because you've got some insight as to the importance of drones being adopted into national airspace and how that might safely be done. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been working really well with the FAA. They've been really receptive to the efforts that we've put in to try to help people. So we're on a regular basis talking to FAA employees and trying to spread the message. Now, I'm not an FAA employee. I don't always agree with what the FAA does, but I think we have to work with them to make sure that this industry moves forward. So that's why we try to do half as on a consulting basis if we want, and then more on trying to help them with spreading the word.
So what year was it you started Pilot Institute?
Pilot Institute, I started about a year after, so it was 3 years ago, actually almost to the day. Today is the day before our anniversary.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, so tomorrow is our third year anniversary, but I started a year before that to teach online courses and develop all that content before my partner and I, we met and decided to make this an actual company. So I've been doing this for about 4 years, but officially as Pilot Institute 3 years.
You've made a lot of headway. And as far as drone pilots, how many have gone through your class about roughly?
Part 107, we're at 47,000 pilots now that we've trained in our system. And I'm pretty sure at the moment we're actually the largest drone Part 107 provider. Based on the data that the FAA published last year and based on the numbers that we've seen, we trained about 25% of all remote pilots last year.
Well, that's great. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate on our board. You're kicking in to help us. Yeah, you recently helped us out on a donation down in Cahaba Valley. You and I met a couple of years ago at Granite Defense,
Mhm.
And it took us a little bit to connect because both of us are very busy. But I'm so happy that we got a chance to reconnect at the last Granite Defense, and
Yep.
you offered to become a partner of ours and kick in and help us with our drone donations that we're doing across the country.
Mhm.
And you were so generous in donating to your classes, and we want to thank you on behalf of our board and our other partners. Why is it, especially on the volunteer side, just don't have the resources?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've seen over the years. Now we train a large portion of our customers are from the public safety arena, and every time we go to meetings like Granite Defense, actually is a perfect example. We get to talk to our customers or future customers, potential customers, and what we realize, in a lot of them just don't have the funds to make this happen. And quite frankly, this business for me has always been about more than just money. It's been about being able to help people, and I don't have the time and resources to be able to identify who out there needs our help. And when we can make a donation, and we always do, sometimes we don't even talk about it, quite frankly, because that's not really the point of it. People like you have the ability to identify who needs help, and then all we have to do is say, okay, here, run with it. We'll give you the donation, we'll give you the information, and then you can take care of them on our behalf. So I'm really appreciative of what you do, because that saves us time in being able to identify who needs the help.
Yeah, for those watching, we have well over 200 departments waiting right now for donations, and we're very proud to say that not only have we partnered with Pilot Institute, but Walmart has come on board, and we've just received our first two grants through Walmart. And we're just so happy to see people taking notice of what we're doing, especially on the corporate level. If there's corporations out there who'd like to contribute and help our foundation, and perhaps get a great tax write-off at the end of the year, contact us. We'd be happy to work with you and promote your philanthropy. Greg, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to meet with us here today. I'm really applaud all that you've done in such 3 years, 3.5. What did you say it'll be tomorrow?
Yeah, 3 years tomorrow.
Major accomplishment. Kudos to you, and we really appreciate your support and what you do to help National Public Safety Drone Donation Program. If anybody's looking for a class, or if you want to even learn to be a man pilot, contact Greg's company. Be sure to let them know that NPS DDP sent you. We'd really like you to support our partners so that they in turn can help us help others, and together we can help save lives one donation at a time. Greg, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but we also take donations from public safety agencies and we repurpose them into public safety. And some of those drones are, how drone technology is changing really fast, right? Really fast. Some of the older technology we can't give to public safety agencies. So we partnered with Women in Drones, and we donate drones to STEM programs. So we're really just trying to clear the shelves, get these things out of landfills, get them into the use to where, one, we can either save lives, or two, we can help educate kids. So anybody watching this, share this video. Like, subscribe, and please support what we're doing. We really appreciate your support. Thank you again for your time.
Appreciate it, Mark.
No problem.